I'm Jordan Hora. I'm a senior communications expert, and today we have with us Chris Howell, the new host of the Chris Howell Show. Chris, thank you so much for being here.
Jordan,
I'm so excited to talk to you.
I'm equally excited.
So you have a new TV show coming out. Will you
Absolutely.
tell us? We're eagerly awaiting. Please let us know.
It's something that we've been toying around with for quite some time.
Okay.
And I guess the timing is now right for us to make this launch. So we're launching a television broadcast that will be part of a phenomenal network that will be airing online. And we're launching that at the same time we're launching a podcast. So we've got quite a few things going on, but this television show is one that we're extremely excited about.
So is it a variety show? Is it a talk show?
It's a talk show. It's a talk show. It's not necessarily a variety show because you're not going to see me doing tricks with dogs and that type of stuff to really make it a variety show.
Yeah.
But it is a show that's going to be entertaining in the fact that we're going to be sitting down with celebrity and non-celebrity folks, really just talking about who they are as individuals. And the hope with this show is that we're going to share some stories that will really empower folks to hear some of those principles for success that these folks have applied to their lives, and hopefully that it can inspire and empower our listeners and viewers.
So what are some of the type of guests that you have coming up, and who are you looking forward to talking to?
Absolutely. We're talking with some folks from all different types of background. We'll be talking with celebrity chefs. We'll be talking with some well-known pastors from around the world. One pastor that has the largest church in America, said to be. So we're going to be talking with them. We'll be talking with authors. We'll be talking with normal folks who are doing, and as normal folks, I hate to use that term, but folks who are just doing things in their community to make a difference in their community. We'll be talking with those folks as well. So they may not be someone who has 50,000 followers on Twitter, but you know what? They're someone who's making a huge impact in the community in which they live. So
these people will be aspirational, that your viewers can say, oh, you know what? I can see myself, I'm aspiring to be that person, or I would like to sit in the, the chair for the Chris Howell Show one day.
You're absolutely right, because there's so many folks who don't aspire to become some well-known celebrity, so to speak, person, but someone who really desires to make a difference. And sometimes just hearing someone else's story on how they got involved in making a difference in their community, it will make you think differently about how you see your community and what you can do to make a difference. So that's what we're hoping to do with the Chris Howell Show.
So how can people view the show? Like, where can they go?
They'll be able to view the show online. We can start, first of all, at our website, chrishowellonline.com. chrishowellonline.com. Go to our website, but then we'll have some information there that will lead them to other places to check out the podcast, as well as places to view the Chris Howell Show.
So Chris, you have a reputation, a great, astounding reputation of gaining credibility with your interview subjects. So how is that, and how are you looking to bring that to your TV program?
Well, I guess one of the things for me is anytime I sit down and interview someone, I look at them first as a person. And I know that sounds strange to say that, but so many times we get caught up into what people do, and we confuse what they do with who they are. And I like to first start talking about the fact that this is a person and get to know that person a little bit more, and then we delve into the things about what it is that they actually do. And I think the interviewees appreciate that, and I think the listeners and viewers appreciate that as well, because most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, they get to learn something about that individual that they didn't know otherwise.
So the Chris Howell Show.
The Chris Howell Show.
chrishowellonline.com.
Yes.
Celebrity chefs, politicians, aspirational
Not quite
everyday
about politicians. We may delve into politicians just a little bit. If Donald Trump desires to come on, we'll talk to him about a few things. I got a few things to ask Donald Trump.
But I'm sure you'll make them feel right at home and right comfortable.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the things too. I believe anytime someone sits across from you, it's just the way that I was raised. My mom made sure that anytime someone came to your house, you respect them. So whoever we sit down with, we're always going to respect them, and we're going to hold them accountable, but we're going to respect them.
Who is Chris Howell? And who are you looking to introduce your listeners to?
Oh man, I get asked that question. I ask so many people that question, who they are, but never really prepared for it myself. If I have to describe myself, Chris Howell is a God-fearing man. You're a little young to be hearing the term God-fearing, but that just means you love, respect, and honor the Lord.
Okay.
I'm a man who loves his family. I love my country. And I guess I would consider myself to be a forward-thinking individual. I picked that up from my mom, just very observant as a kid. And I always saw her always preparing for the next thing. So I find myself many times today, always thinking about that next thing. So I consider myself to be a forward-thinking individual. At my core, I am a communicator and I'm an encourager. And that's who Chris Howell is. And
you're looking to introduce this man to the thousands of listeners who will be watching and listening to your show.
Absolutely. Thousands, starting off in the thousands, and hopefully ultimately getting to the millions.
Absolutely. So, Chris, talking to people and sharing their stories is a passion of yours, something
Yes.
that, you've been doing for nearly 20 years.
Yes.
Why is that a passion for you?
I guess, like I said before, I'm a very observant, and I guess I'm very intrigued by people and by some of the things that we do. I mean, I sit around many times and I just sit and I people watch. I tend to get to places a little bit early. So what I'll do is I'll sit around and I'll just watch people, and I'm very intrigued by that. So to get the opportunity to hear people share their principles for success and things that have allowed them to attain their level of success, I'm excited by it, and I'm excited to be able to share that with listeners. Because many times in my low points of my life, I had the opportunity to either read something from someone that inspired me or hear something that inspired me. And I think now to be on the front side of that, to be able to kind of guide those discussions and put them in front of people in hopes that they become inspired and go on to have a certain level of success and victory, I'm excited about it.
And that seems like that comes very naturally to you to pull that out of your interview subjects.
It does, because one of the things I said about myself is I'm an encourager. So I like to always try and, in an interview setting, I want to find those points that I think are going to really encourage someone, so to allow someone to be able to obtain the success that they set out to have.
Chris, I've had the pleasure of watching you interview people, global leaders, local heroes, politicians, CEOs, athletes. Your interviews typically hit and focus on something that guests find pleasantly surprising, something that they're excited to share and are really open to share this information with you, something that they weren't expecting someone to ask them. How is that? What is your method?
You know, I guess there's really no secret sauce to it. I guess it's
Let
just
us know.
It's really just one of those things. Like I said, I consider myself to be pretty observant.
Okay.
And I guess I always go into any interview really first understanding that this is a person. And I try to be careful to separate what someone does from who they are as a person. And I think many times when folks are given the opportunity to interview someone, they focus on what the person does for a living. And I want to know more about this individual, because I want to know what makes them so similar to me and similar to my listeners, and something that we can relate to. And then we'll get into what it is that they do. But first and foremost, I want to know who they are as an individual. And to your point, yeah, many folks that we interview are somewhat surprised by that, because frankly, they're just not used to that.
Chris, like I said before, you're a CEO, you're an award-winning entrepreneur. Your credibility with your guests are astounding, and your business is growing. As your show is looking to empower people and have these empowering conversations, I'd like to know, and for the millennial generation, I'd like to know from you, like, what advice would you give to people who are looking to be in your shoes, or, one day where we can appear on your show? What advice would you give to people looking to take that next step up in their life and in their career?
Okay, great. I will say, first and foremost, to be patient.
Okay.
You've got a dream, you know that it's something you're created to do, but you have to be patient. I say that to myself most often because I am not a very patient person, but life has taught me to become patient and understand that it takes time for that dream to come to pass. So first and foremost, be patient. The other thing is to be persistent. That being patient doesn't mean that you're not persistent. You continue to work at it, but just understand that even though you're working, it still may take a little bit of time for you to get to where it is you're trying to get to. So be patient, be persistent, be determined, but at the same time, allow it to take as long as it takes, and enjoy the journey along the way.
Okay.
Because the worst thing is for you to get to that point and to have never enjoyed the journey to that. And then you don't realize, because many times you don't realize just how far you've come to get to where you are, and you don't appreciate it as much.
Okay.
So enjoy the journey.
Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
So you talked about a journey. I want to ask you this question, and hopefully we can kind of get a view of how you see your journey shaping out to be. Chris, it's your 60th birthday. You've been on the air now for, let's say, 40 years. As you look over your journey, and as you look, in the future, 20 years from now, what are you hoping your legacy will be within media, within business, and with your show?
I would hope that it would be someone who actually made a difference in the world by exposing folks to sides of individuals that they may not have ever known had that person not took the time to do an interview with us. I would hope that it's been that we've left folks empowered, not just encouraged and inspired, but empowered. I want to make sure that they actually receive the tools necessary to move to that next level of success. And I know sometimes success may sound like it's being overrated, but we all want a certain level of success at some point of our life. Success doesn't necessarily mean fame or riches or things of that nature. It just may simply mean that you have set out to attain a goal and you have put in the time necessary and the work to actually reach that goal. Okay. That's a certain level of success.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Chris. We talked about being patient. We talked about being persistent. I will be patient and I will be persistent. You know, I'm just an honor to talk to you today. So thank you so much for taking time to talking with us.
As honored. Thank you.
Christopher Howell.
Coming up on the next episode of The Chris Howell Show.
I would go work on sets. Now I would work on sets and use my camera. I'd loan my camera out. I'd go give plasma. I gave plasma for 10 years. You know, just trying to survive in the industry.
Thank you for watching. Now we have more great conversations like this available for you at chrishowellonline.com. I also want to take this moment to invite you to download the free Chris Howell app. It's available in the App Store as well as Google Play. Search for Chris Howell and there you'll get the Chris Howell app. Appreciate your support. Thanks again for watching. Have a great weekend.